You're probably here because you're trying to solve a problem or figure out how to explain a problem as a junior developer. All right, these are my steps. All right, like one, two, three, four, simple. Here we go. So we're talking about like how to ask for help. In general, software engineering, coding, programming, whatever you want to call it, just making stuff work on a computer for a living is hard. Like don't like everybody who says it's easy, no. It's hard. It comes to a point where everything doesn't make sense anymore. And we need to develop a culture where juniors are level one engineers or SE ones, whatever you want to call them, newbies. We need to develop a culture that enables them to be able to ask for help without feeling judged or like something is wrong because we all ask for help in one shape, form, or another. Here's how I would go about solving or trying to solve a problem. So the first question is how to communicate a problem to somebody else. So I would do exactly what is supposed to happen. I would then go to what is happening. So those are two things. So I'm supposed to do this and this is supposed to happen, but this is happening. Then you go, okay, what are if in some cases you get error codes, I would write down the error codes or the errors that popping up from your feedback, whether it is your debugger or your terminal. Both of those places give you errors. Then from that, now you can go, what is supposed to happen based on whatever you did. That's just the basics of how to like write your question or how to phrase your question. Also, you can go, what have you tried? So from all these, you can figure out, okay, this is the problem I'm having. I've tried this, this, this. None of those work. So you have a specific, based on your error codes and what you've tried, you have a specific amount of information to go to the next stage of either looking for help on your own or asking somebody else for help. So your next step now is to Google or search, not really Google, but search for a response using your search engine. Google, Bing, not Bing, definitely not Bing. Something else. So you can search for your error code or your error log, whatever, throw it, like literally cut and paste and throw it in there and start reading the responses that come in, whether it's an article, whether it's a Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow tends to be very good at giving answers to specific problems, but you have to remember that you have to look into when it was posted, what version of the software. That helps you way better than anything else. So now that we have done the whole Googling, we can explain what the problem is. The trick now is to find, like, generally in most teams, you have somebody that you can talk to, or you can pick anybody on the team, whether it's in person or over Slack or sending them an email. Instead of just saying communication, how I found most value out of it was to do a screen share and go, this is what I've done, and they can see my search process or how I tried to solve the problem. I walk them through the 4-step, what I've tried, and then they come in and say, hey, this is how I think we should try it, or they take it on their side and go, okay, let's try solving this together. It's kind of like, it's not really hand-holding, but then they teach you how to problem solve. It helps you and they invest in you and they become better developers for it. And you become better developer because now you know how to problem solve based on your skill set, and you also learn how to problem solve based on how they solve a problem. In some cases, we're mostly working remote now. So in some cases, a lot of us are not able to get responses from team members or as quickly as we'd like to, or based on the deadline. We can reach out to our networks. We have Slack, we have Discord. First, before you need the network, build the bridge before you need it. So join your local like Slack groups. So in Atlanta, we got Tech 404, which is a big part. I'm part of I used to go to a boot camp. So there's the alumni boot camp, the alumni Slack and Discord channels that they speak about problems, how to solve problems, so on and so forth. Use Twitter a lot. Join lists of people, follow people who make creative stuff specifically to tech, because tech is Twitter. Like, that's where we do most of our talking, sharing, so on and so forth. You can find resources. People point you in the direction of like channels, who to follow, who to ask for help, so on and so forth. Communities to join. We got Code Newbie, which is great. We got Virtual Coffee, which I heard on about on Twitter, which I joined on Slack. So like from then you can then find channels in these virtual communities to get help when you need it and offer help when the time comes. So that's my 2 cents on the whole problem solving thing, from figuring out how to ask for help to finding places to get help. All right, so we're come to the place where we have to summarize this so you can remember all of this that we just spoke about. So the first thing is write down your problem. You are going to write down what is supposed to happen, what is happening, what error codes you're having. 4 things. Then you move on to Googling stuff. You Google your error code specific. That doesn't give you a result you want. You figure out a way to say the same thing differently in Google. More than likely, you'll find an answer. If not, move up to your team lead or whosoever is on your team to help you with stuff. Figure out how, talk to them in such a way that they understand your problem with the steps you just did. Tell them what you've tried. That doesn't work or they're unavailable, we can move to the next step of reaching out to your community, whether on Twitter, whether on Slack, whether on Discord. If none of that works, you can always join Virtual Coffee and ask questions here, and we're more than likely to help you. If not, we all learned something new today.